Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream, and it is officially game week, and I'm so pumped up. We got Greenbean and Ali in the building to give you guys our preview, to talk about everything that's coming out of One Jets Drive, whether it's the injury news. We got some roster moves that was pretty hectic last week to recap and give us our overall thoughts and our excitement and our nervousness and our anxiety about week one of the New York Jets season, and we're going to talk about our expectations for the season as a whole. So with that being said, Greenbean, how you doing today, bro? Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, thank you. I'm psyched to be here. I always like hanging with you too, and you're right, man. It's like you nailed it. The excitement, the anxiety, because there's both. And I just can't wait for this all to get started. I'm sucking up the Jets news and the press conferences, and I'm ready, man. I'm ready to get this going.
How about you, Ali? How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good, man. It's game week, man. And you can't be the best week in the world. It's game week. We're finally football. We're going to have football until February, and I can't wait. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. We went to free agency, training camp, everything, and now it's time to play football, and this is where it counts. So we're going to be talking about Jets Panthers today. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson. For those guys that don't know, I will be in attendance. I'm flying to Charlotte on Saturday morning, and then I'll be back Monday morning to make sure that I'll be live Monday with you guys to give you guys my thoughts of it. I'm going to try to do as much content as I can when I'm over there. Might do a live stream on Sunday morning. We'll figure out my whole equipment situation. And, of course, I'll be making content over there, whatever hotel I am at. It's going to be a really exciting time, but really nerve-wracking. It's going to be me and my dad watching the Jets in enemy territory. But I've survived 4 years straight going to the Bills Stadium against the Jets because I went to college all the way upstate New York, and there was no other way for me to see the Jets other than going to Buffalo, and that's enemy territory. And if I could survive that, I could survive down in Carolina when the New York Jets defeat the Carolina Panthers. That's right. I'm speaking that thing into existence, guys. I'm so excited to bring you guys this live stream. Like I said previously, I will be trying to go live every single week, every single Monday at this time around 4 or 5 o'clock. It's going to be Jack and Ali every single week. Jack is currently doing a gig right now, so he's performing music over at a restaurant. So Greenbean is filling in for him, and we're also trying to get special guests every week on Monday. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Every Monday, you know that Jets Media will be live around this time, and we're going to have Monday Night Football to talk about as well, so we can talk about other than the Jets, and we're going to get into a lot of things right away. So first off, let's just talk about the Jets roster updates. There's a lot of things to get into. I want to hear Greenbean's thoughts and Ali's thoughts on the Chris Herndon trade first and foremost, because that's pretty interesting. So, Greenbean, what was your reaction when you found out that Chris Herndon got traded? And let's give your overall thoughts of the tight end position as a whole.
Well, interestingly, and I'm going to do this because I got a lot wrong on these predictions, but I have been calling for Chris Herndon to be traded. Not that I wanted him traded, but that they were going to trade him since OTAs. I said they were going to shop him, like showcase him and then shop him. But the truth is, I thought that we would get maybe a sixth, probably a seventh. So I think Joe Douglas once again shows us where trades are concerned. He's pretty good at this, man. So I think it was time. I think Joe Douglas just didn't want to have to depend on Chris Herndon again. I mean, look, he's been here for 2 seasons, and those 2 seasons, Chris Herndon has been just about a non-factor. So I like that he was traded. And look, maybe a change of scenery does him well too. Who knows? But I like it for us. Our tight end room is a little bit interesting. It's odd. Tyler Croft, who, a lot of people look at him as just strictly a blocking tight end, but we've seen that he does have some hands too. Ryan Griffin, who's banged up, and Daniel Brown was the big surprise for me that he made the roster, but I think it's his special teams that they like about him. But I think it's, I think it's just kind of a blue collar, like lunch pail crew. We're not looking for too much out of them outside of blocking and the occasional safety valve kind of a thing. Now, the guy I like the most is Kenny Yeboah. I'm happy that he's back with us. I was rooting for him to make the roster. Didn't happen, but I could see him being bumped up, similar to what we just saw with Josh Adams. If anybody gets dinged up, Kenny Yeboah is waiting there within our system, and I like him being there because his potential is a little bit different than the guys that we have. But overall, I'm not too worried about it. I think that, again, they have a role. The tight ends are in a supportive capacity. And I think our running game's going to benefit, and Zach Wilson will benefit from having no safety valve. So I'm really happy with how it all went, even though I wanted Yeboah on the active roster.
Interesting. Yeah, this tight end position is going to be really interesting to see what happens throughout the season. The Chris Herndon trade came out of left field for me personally. I'll give you guys my thoughts of that after we hear Ali's thoughts on the Chris Herndon trade and the overall state of the tight end position for the Jets.
So from the beginning of maybe January, I think everyone was hyping up that Chris Herndon will have another breakout year this year. And I was never going to fall for that. I mean, he needs to prove it to me. And that's what I've been saying since January. That he needs to prove it on the field, and now he can't even prove that because he's on a different team. But for the Jets' perspective, I think for the tight end position, Tyler Kroft is better, much better. It's like a different ceiling between all these other tight ends right now. I think that's how they saw this team right now. Obviously tight end is not our top position, not even close. But the Jets, I think they have enough there, and I think they have enough wide receiver weapons and running back weapons on this team that they can be fine with tight end right now. And Tyler Kroft is a guy that could, get a touchdown here and there, make some catches and on third down. And he's an experienced tight end, so I think that's why they kept him. He had a pretty good camp or a mini camp, so we'll see if Kroft will be okay out there. I do like Kenny Yeboah, I really do. We'll see if he makes it to the active roster. I doubt it. I really do. But I think if one of these guys goes down, he has a roster spot ready to go. So for this tight end group, we shouldn't expect much. But Chris Herndon trade, getting that back in return is insane. That pick next year could be used on another tight end that we draft, from college. So from what the Jets perspective, what Joe Douglas, he needed to do that because Chris Herndon was not going to be a playmaker. I don't think Chris Herndon would make a difference on this offense. Just at least get a 4th round pick out of it. So that's all I got to say with the Chris Herndon trade. But thankfully we don't have to deal with that right now. Being like he'll have a breakout year and all that, and I'll focus on Chris Herndon. Now we can focus on the more younger guys now.
Yeah, very well said from both of you guys. I feel like I was shocked. I was completely shocked, and I was the same way as you, Ali. I've not had any stock in Chris Herndon going into the season. I did not expect anything from him. It was kind of like, all right, prove it, and then I'll, start to love you again like I did after that rookie season. But I think what happened with this whole Chris Herndon situation was the Minnesota Vikings were so injured at the tight end spot, and it just so happens they were desperate. And it wasn't like Joe Douglas was fielding calls and, calling everybody and Chris Herndon's available. It was the Vikings being super aggressive towards the Jets, where Douglas is like, okay, I can't turn down this opportunity to get a 4th round pick, essentially moving up 2 rounds to trade away a guy I don't really think has a future on this team. And that's kind of where it all started for me. After hearing Joe Douglas speak to the media and really talk about that trade, it was kind of that situation where Herndon wasn't, going to be someone they were looking to move perhaps, but that opportunity really showed Douglas like, okay, I have an opportunity to move up from 6th to 4th round in the 2022 draft. And we know that Douglas loves his picks. We know that he loves his capital, and he's going to try his best to build this thing through the draft. And he found out that the Minnesota Vikings would take an ability to move up from 6th to the 4th round, and we simply give up Chris Herndon. Definitely took me out of nowhere. I did not expect that, but I was really worried when the 53-man roster first initially came out because we cut Ryan Griffin, we cut Daniel Brown, we cut Kenny Yeboah, and like Tyler Kroft and Wesco were only tight ends at one point. And I'm like, okay, what is happening? Are we going to trade for Ertz? Are we going to just pull off a trade? Are we getting someone on the waiver wire? Like, who's our tight ends? And then it so happens that they were waiting for to place guys on IR, which opens up roster spots for guys like Ryan Griffin and Daniel Brown. And, Daniel Brown, I expected him to make the roster simply because of his special teams prowess. Ryan Griffin, I was a little hopeful that they could move on from him and give it to a guy like Kenny Yeboah or bring in a guy from the waiver wires. But Ryan Griffin is a veteran. He's been in this league before. He understands what it takes to be a pro. He's a Joe Douglas guy. So hopefully he can make some plays because they do run a lot of two tight end sets in the system. And we know that Wesco is going to be more of a fullback for us. So expect it to be, Tyler Croft and Ryan Griffin on that two tight end sets with Wesco at the fullback at times, or Wesco can definitely line up as the tight end as well when there's no fullback in that formation. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to this Jets tight end position. So guys, if you're new to the stream, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. We're going to be live for quite some time tonight, giving you guys all the latest news about the Jets. It's game week, and so we should be all excited about what's to come. NFL season starts so soon. We got 72 people watching with 33 people liking it. So make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. And also, guys, if you did not know, I'm doing a Jets jersey giveaway, and I'll be picking a winner later on this week. And all you guys got to do to join this giveaway is subscribe to Jets Media, subscribe to my other YouTube channel, Touchdown Kingdom, and then simply go to my Instagram and Twitters, and you'll see the post about that, and you'll know what to do from there. And I'm going to be picking someone at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and then you guys can choose which Jets player you want, a free Jets jersey on me, and I'll ship it to you guys. So that's all you got to do. Subscribe to Jets Media, Touchdown Kingdom, and then check me out on Instagram and Twitter. You guys know what to do from there. So staying on the topic of the Jets roster, we got other shocking news, which was indeed Bless Austin being released. So I don't think any Jets fan expected this one. But then when you hear the reasoning behind it, it kind of makes sense. We know that this Jets front office and this Jets coaching staff has such an obsession with the long term, and that's so refreshing as a Jets fan. They are doing the complete opposite of what the past Jets regimes have done. They are doing every single Jets fan, not every single Jets fan, but a lot of us were clamoring for a veteran corner, sign somebody with experience to develop the guys. We need somebody to plug in, and it so happens that they did not want to do that at all, and they so happen to cut the only experienced guy on the roster at that spot. And what they want to do, what Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas wants to do, is give the young guys every single opportunity to get the reps and grow over time, because they really want to see what they got out of Brennan Eccles, what they got out of Michael Carter II, Javelin Guidry, Pinnock, and Isaiah Dunn. They believe in these guys, and they felt like Bless Austin wasn't going to get a lot of playing time with them because they did not have a long-term vision with Bless. So why would Bless be out there if in their eyes, after seeing him in training camp, and I'm pretty sure he's a pending free agent, he's not really part of a long-term plan? So why should he be playing? I think that's the mindset. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm not saying, but I think that's the reasoning behind the Bless Austin release. So Greenbean, what was your initial reaction when you saw that Bless Austin is released? And what's your thoughts of the Jets going full-blown rebuild and full-blown thinking for the future for this cornerback room?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, think about this. What an idea. We drafted some guys and we're going to play them. It seems crazy, doesn't it? It's like, where'd that come from? We're just going to pick some guys and you guys are going to be on the field for us. I think it's really interesting, and you're right. I got to admit, I never saw it coming for the reasons that you mentioned. I mean, we have so little experience that I thought Bless on Austin could at least be just rooted in that side of things for us. I didn't see it coming. I was very surprised. That all said, look, we've been talking about an evaluation year for months. This is an evaluation year. We have so many young guys, so many rookies, rookie, head coach, rookie quarterback, offensive coordinator, and on and on and on. So they gave Bless on Austin the entire offseason, including 3 preseason games, to show more than the rookies. He didn't do that. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He didn't outshine anybody. He made a couple pretty bad mistakes, some missed tackles, all that kind of stuff. So I think what happened is they giving him that chance, he didn't shine more than them. So it's not worth taking the playing time from one of these guys so they can see what they have with guys that are they're thinking are actually a part of the future. It's scary. I've never seen this before by choice. I mean, look at last year. We had all those wide receivers and all these guys starting that we didn't intend to start, but that was by necessity. That was because everybody was hurt. This time we're doing it by choice. It's like, no, man, we don't see enough in the vets that we've had around, or like a Richard Sherman or a Steven Nelson or whatever. We want to see what's going on with the guys that we drafted. And I love it. Underneath all of my anxiety and my fear, especially going against Sam Darnold, could we make it any easier for this friggin' guy to have a good day? It's not, you know what I mean? I just would like to, all the other games aside, I'd like to take Sam's ability to beat us away. And it just so happens that we're starting a bunch of guys who've never started in the NFL before. Look, our defensive backs coach is a very impressive man in Odin. He's really great to listen to. If you haven't yet, it's worth your time. And the guy believes in the young guys. So it's like, hey, we picked these guys. Let's stick them on the field, and we'll take this word evaluation and we'll actually do it. So underneath everything, I think I like it, albeit I'm scared.
I think every Jets fan's pretty scared going into the season when it comes to the cornerback room. But the one thing I will say is you have to understand the expectations for this team and understand the vision of the coaching staff is this is a rebuild year. It's hard to say that because it feels like we've been rebuilding for 10 years straight. But this is the first year of the foundation of the Saleh and Douglas combination. And I'd rather get the reps of all the young guys possible so we can see what we got from these rookies. So I'm really excited to see this young secondary, and we have to understand that the coaching staff expects these guys to have bumps in the roads. They're expecting the adversity, and they're excited for that because that gives them an opportunity to develop these guys and these young men to become NFL starters down the line, hopefully. So, Ali, what was your thoughts and initial reaction to Bless Austin getting released?
I was shocked, but in a different way. I was shocked in a way where we're releasing a guy who pretty much is a starting cornerback, who was going to be a starting cornerback week 1. And that's what shocked me because, look, Jamal Adams forced his way out of here to get traded. We've had a lot of situations where people just want to get out of here. The Jets are doing their part to figure out who are the right guys for their football team, who are the right guys for their defense. And that's what this move is explaining, what they want to do with this defense. They want to give the young guys a shot. Yes, they're going to have hiccups. They're going to have a lot of hiccups. You're going to have to learn that this defense, this secondary is definitely going to have a lot of hiccups, but they will have some bright moments because these guys are young. They're talented, but they just need experience, and they don't have that yet. But they're going to learn, and that's what they need to do. That's how teams are actually built for success, is building your young core first and then bringing the veteran guys to fill in your spots. You need to start your foundation with the younger guys, and that's what they're finally doing here in New York, which is that's why I'm actually happy because I'm like, they're trying to make their own team. Salah is trying to make his own team. This defense is trying to make this defense and offense. They're trying to build their own team rather than signing Richard Sherman. They could have signed Richard Sherman months ago, but they're not doing that because they want to build their own guys. They want to bring veteran presidents in. They want to give these young guys a shot, and they don't want them stressing about their roster spot. They want them to go play ball and learn. That's what they want to do. It'll be pretty cool to have a veteran presence in the locker room for the cornerback group, but who says like Robert Saleh can teach them? That's the thing. Like you can learn from coaches, and the Jets have a coaching staff that can teach now. They can learn from these coaching staff. So I really do like it. I mean, Bless Austin said he was a real deal, and obviously the Jets did not think he's the real deal because he's not on the team anymore. So, look, it's awesome to see what their direction's going. It's scary, of course, but it's a different direction. I'm actually excited about it because we're looking at a young team. Like I will go into every game knowing that these are young corners. They're learning. You're going up against top receivers in the league. That's how you're going to learn. For a job, if you go in for a job, when you go in for the first day, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're going to have to learn. You learn for weeks, and then you get better at it. And that's what these guys are going to have to do. So it's going to be a learning curve, obviously, the rebuilding, but it's rebuilding for Robert Saleh. Obviously, it's rebuilding for us for years now. But for Robert Saleh, it's his first year. So that's how people need to think about it. And Joe Douglas was pretty much cleaning Mike McCann's mess for the past 2 years. So,
Yep.
This is a fresh start for them, and they got to just see what they can do with what they have right now. But I do like the direction they're going. I like that release because it just shows that, look, if we can't do anything about your contract or whatever, we're just going to release you because we don't want you right now. We want to get these young guys out there, and I respect that.
Yeah, man, it's really interesting to see that this Jets front office take this approach. Like every Jets fan in their final 53-man roster that made a prediction It's out of the door. Nobody can guess these things. As much as we try, us content creators are going to try to predict these things. It's never going to work, Green Bean. We're never going to get it right. Every single year, I always try to do it, and I never get these things right. So, guys, I have an important announcement to make right now. I am now a proud partner and a sponsorship with BetQL. And I just want to say, without you guys, this is not possible. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you guys that's been following Jets Media from the start, because this Jets YouTube channel is now sponsored, and that's a huge, huge thing for me personally. It's really good for the YouTube channel. That's only going to help me pump even more content out for you guys. So for you guys that know, I will be posting some advertisements in my videos, including this live stream. So we're going to hear a quick break, a quick commercial break here from BetQL. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Want to take an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use the model and prefer to do the research yourself? BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineup and injury breaking news, and even leaderboards to track your success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.com/JetsMedia to get started now. Enter the discount code JetsMedia at payment checkout for 25% off of their subscription offerings. You could find all this information in the description of this video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, make sure you check out the Sportsbook offers page if you live in one of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up at one of the many sportsbooks listed. Don't miss out on your chance to beat the sportsbook this football season. Shout out to BetQL for sponsoring this video. We appreciate you. And guys in the chat, thank you so much for making this possible for me and my channel. It means a lot. Check out the description for all the details about BetQL. So let's get into the next segment, which is about this upcoming week against the Carolina Panthers. And we have two quarterbacks going up each other. That's going to be pretty crazy. Zach Wilson versus Sam Darnold. Are you kidding me, NFL? Zach Wilson had something funny to say when he got asked about this, I think a week ago. He said, it's pretty usual for the NFL to make this happen. You know, Jets going up against Sam and all this stuff. So before I get into my nervous wreck, Greenbean, what is your thoughts about Zach Wilson versus Sam Darnold? Strictly the quarterback battle. We're not going to get into the Panthers Jets. We're talking about Zach Wilson versus Sam Darnold. What is your thoughts?
Well, let me first say that was one of the finest ads that I've seen in a long time, Richie. I think you nailed it. Congratulations. I was interested. I'm going to go and get BetQL myself and use your code. That's what I'm going to do. So congrats, buddy. I thought you did a great job there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. And I mean it too. I'm not just kissing your ass. So let's see. Here's what I think about Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson. I think we are in the positive place for this one. Sam Darnold, they're still working on undoing a lot of the bad habits, the PTSD, all that sort of stuff. And he looked okay in the preseason game. Everybody came around saying, oh, Sam looked great. He didn't look great. If you watch the game, he looked okay. He still made some of the same kind of back foot sort of stuff. So I think that we have the better situation. And I also think that our skill position groups that's in our favor as well. So I think Zach Wilson, I mean, obviously aside from Christian McCaffrey, if we could take Robbie away, I think Sam Darnold's going to have a rough day. And if we can get in his face a little bit early, Quinnen Williams, Sheldon Rankins coming up the middle, Sam Darnold, he's going to be erratic again. And so that is absolutely key. I see Sam Darnold throwing for about 240, maybe one touchdown and maybe a pick or two. This is what I honestly believe watching his last game. And I think Zach Wilson is going to throw for right around 300, 2 touchdowns in the air. So I like the battle. Again, we can't let him get comfortable because this is an important game for Sam. But I think that nervous energy could go toward, creating an erratic Sam Darnold. And I think if we can do that, we're going to have a good day. I think Zach Wilson is the better quarterback today, and I'm happy we're getting it week 1, man. I think we're going to win that battle.
You heard it from Greenbean. The confidence level's through the roof. He does not see it in Sam. He's starting to talk his crap about his preseason performance. He's sick of hearing everything that he's checking it down, having a screen pass before a touchdown and finding Robbie. Greenbean's not hearing it. He's all on the Zach Wilson train. I love to hear that. So, Ali, before I give you guys my thoughts, what's your thoughts and what's your gut telling you about Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson?
Well, let's start with Sam Darnold. I think he'll struggle because his offensive line is banged up. I mean, his right tackle is out for this game with COVID, and they're already banged up to begin with. So, if the Jets on defensive line should win against their offensive line, Sam Darnold's gonna have a long day. He's gonna have a long day. He's gonna be pressured, and we've seen him under pressure, and he's not very good when he's under pressure. It's something that if the Jets can get to him, it's going to be a long day for him. And if we can somehow take away Christian McCaffrey just a little bit away, the Jets could come out with a victory. And I think Zach Wilson, there's just a lot more pressure on Sam Darnold than Zach Wilson. It's plain and simple. Sam Darnold, 3 years in the league. Now he's going to a different team. Now he's got to show that did Matt Rule fix him up or did he not? You have McCaffrey in your backfield. You have you're reunited with Robbie Anderson. Can you perform well? That's the big question here. And there's a lot of stuff on his shoulders that he needs to produce against his old team in week 1. So there's a lot over there. Obviously, Zach Wilson, he's going into his first game as a rookie in the NFL. He's going up against. There's a lot of drama with every Jets game. There's not just because it's Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson. There's a drama with the Jets every single game. So for this game, it's not obviously there's gonna be pressure. It's his first game, but it's not as much as Darnold. And I think Zach Wilson, he has especially with Jamison Crowder possibly playing as well. He's gonna have all his weapons. They're all gonna be healthy, and the Jets offensive line is 100 times better than what they have in Carolina right now, especially with people being out and they're just banged up. So I think I'll give the edge to Zach Wilson. Not a biased opinion here, but just a situation that I listed is Zach Wilson just has a better chance of succeeding in this game and scoring more touchdowns, moving the chains. But Sam Darnold is going to be heavily pressured. I really do think that he's just going to be heavily pressured the entire game. And he's going to struggle like we saw in New York. So the only bet he has is giving the handoff to Christian McCaffrey, and he breaks out a couple runs. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how. I know the secondary, our defense is not really great, so maybe he can succeed through that a little bit. But right now, I take Zach Wilson, and he wins it for the Jets.
All right, so Zach Wilson gets the nod from both of you guys. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is going to be, probably the most watched game at 1 o'clock just because of the whole situation of Zach or Sam. Like outside of Jets and Panthers fans, obviously, I feel like everybody's going to want to see who looks better. And shout out to Matt O'Leary. He just posted a little clip of how Jets Twitter is going to be if Sam Darnold
it was funny.
us. And he's right. If the Panthers beat us and Sam even looks decent, say he throws for 201 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and then Zach does something like 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick as well, and then everyone's going to be talking, oh, they made the wrong decision. You can't – whatever happens this Sunday is not going to tell the truth of what, if the right decision was to keep or move on from Sam. That's all I have to say about that. But going into Sam versus Zach in this week 1 battle, Sam Darnold, he has weapons around him. He doesn't have protection, like Ali mentioned. And we know that Sam Darnold, and you guys know me. If you guys have been subscribed to this channel from the beginning, I was, on the Sam Darnold train through the terrible years last year. Every single game, I'm rooting for him. When everybody gave up on him, I was like, nah, come on, Sam, prove him wrong. And he would continue to suck. But I would always try to, pump a little optimism around the Sam Darnold train. And I was, always supporting our guy. No matter who was our quarterback at the time, I supported. And my assessment on Sam Darnold after 3 years is he's a very, very physically talented quarterback. His issue is his mentality and his ability to process things on the field. I think that is what made him, into a failure for the Jets. He could not make the right decision. When you're a quarterback in the NFL, you need to be able to think quickly. You need to be able to react. You need to be able to let your instincts take over and process things and let your body just work its magic and make the right decision in a split second. And Sam would always make the wrong decision. He would always look rattled. He looked like he was not reading defenses. It looked like he would not handle the pocket pressure. And when he would show some talent, he would do that improvisation and escaping to his right or his left and make a crazy highlight play because, like I said, he's very physically talented. His problem was he didn't have a good grasp of the playbook, obviously, and Gase has a big part of that. The offensive line was a mess. He didn't have weapons around him. But now he's in Carolina. Now, what does he have? He has one of the best running backs in the NFL. He has Robbie Anderson, and as we know as Jets fans, is ascending as a very good wide receiver. They have DJ Moore, and they have a very good rookie in Marshall. So he has weapons to go to. I'm expecting Sam Darnold to rely heavy on Christian McCaffrey. I will say I'm a little concerned about this Jets defense containing Christian McCaffrey on the run game because in the preseason, it did not look like the Jets have a really good game plan against running backs defensively. But then again, you can't read too much into it. They did not have every player. They were not, going all in on their schematics of stopping the run. So I'm not going to read too much into that. But CMC is nobody to, blow over your head. He's going to be a beast. And, and Ali mentioned this as well. Our secondary is extremely inexperienced. So expect Sam to try to take advantage of that. Expect him to try to take the top off the defense with Robbie Anderson. But, when it comes to Sam Darnold this game, and this is what Greenbean's mentioned, we need to get to him. If the Jets defensive line can get interior pressure up the middle, because we found out that their right guard is on the COVID list, so he's going to be out. If Quinnen Williams and Sheldon Rankins and Foley Fatukasi and JFM and Shaq Lawson and Bryce Huff and all these guys can really step up and say, we are the Robert Saleh New York Jets football team on the defensive side that's going to get to the quarterback, that's going to make Sam Darnold's life a nightmare. And if that's the case, Sam's not going to do anything against us. I genuinely believe if we can get to the quarterback and get to Sam at a frequent level, he's going to be rattled. The one thing that does scare me is Christian McCaffrey is so talented where it takes a little screen pass for Sam to check down, and he takes 70 yards down the field for a touchdown. That scares me because he's that good. He has that style of, I don't need to break down McCaffrey. You guys know how talented he is, but that's the style of weapons that Sam has around him where he little quick slant to someone and they free. And Sam's, approach to the game, I feel like he's going to be conservative. I'm expecting him to take some shots down the field to Robbie, but this Jets defense better be ready to get to the quarterback. There's no excuses. If we were going up against a team with for example, week 2 against the Patriots, they have a very good offensive line. So we're going to be a little worried about getting to the quarterback there. But there's no excuse. The Jets defensive line has to get to Sam because if the Jets defensive line does not, he will have a field day against us. Not a field day saying 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, but he's going to look calm and collected in the pocket if we do not get to him. That's the key. That's the key to unlocking the ghost Sam. The reason why Sam was seeing ghosts against the Patriots is because that defense was getting to him. They were disguising their coverages. Saleh has to be really creative. And look at that tape, honestly, against what the Patriots did to Sam. Now, flipping it to Zach Wilson and what we can expect from him going into this game. The biggest difference between Sam and Zach that I've noticed, and obviously Zach has not, done anything for the Jets. He has not played one NFL game yet. But what separates them outside of their physical, abilities, and I do think Zach has way more physically talented abilities than Sam, but Zach's mind is really different where Sam is at his rookie season. I can listen to Zach talk ball all day. Whenever he's talking to the media, I love listening to him because he doesn't just give those broad answers like, yeah, we're going to get the guys, we're going to watch film, we're going to see. Like, he talks like scheme, he talks his preparation to a T, and that's someone that can really understand things quickly. And you hear Robert Saleh say it, he's light years ahead of what we expected in terms of processing things. You need to be able to get a good grasp of the playbook before you can be a good quarterback in the NFL. And I feel like this system in place is a perfect opportunity for Zach Wilson to understand that he knows where his receivers are, he knows where his first reads, second reads are. He needs to rely on the run game. I'm expecting Ty Johnson and Michael Carter and Coleman, all these guys, to get the ball and establish a run game because that will help out Zach and set up the play action. So Zach Wilson, I want him to be aggressive. I want him to be assertive, but I also want him to be a game manager. I feel like that's the Zach Wilson I want to see as a rookie. If he goes out there and has the poise that he did in preseason, he does not make any really turnover-worthy plays. But, hey, say he does throw an interception. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. We can't expect him to be flawless in his debut. But what I want to see from Zach in his first game against Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers, be poised, be a game manager, limit the mistakes, get those crucial third downs, because we saw him do very well in preseason in that third and long opportunities. Rely on Corey Davis. Improvise when you need to. We're hearing all these comparisons to Mahomes now because of Tony Romo, and that's awesome. I hate that he's in that level of hype now, because now everybody outside of Jets fans are like expecting Zach Wilson to be, the next Mahomes. And that sucks for him to have that expectations. But if he does want to get a Mahomes' level, and I'm not expecting him to at all this season, I'm not saying that. But what makes Mahomes so special is his ability to maneuver around the pocket and escape to the right, escape to the left, improvise, buy his receivers time to get open. And if Zach can do that, if Zach can be that point guard, juke the defensive lineman out, rolling to the right, spinning around, buys like 7-8 seconds, that's going to give Elijah Moore so much time to get open. It's going to give Corey Davis so much time to get open. And we know Zach has the ability and the arm talent to sling the rock down the field off platform. So I'm curious to see what he can do out there, because we have not seen everything from Zach Wilson yet. Preseason, such a small sample size. We saw him fire from the pocket. We saw one cool play action rolling to his right. We have not seen him break the pocket yet. And that's when Zach Wilson gets special. So I'm curious to see what happens. But the Zach Wilson versus Sam Darnold, rivalry, whatever you want to call it, this matchup is going to be much watch TV if you're an NFL fan, even if you're not a Jets Panthers fan. It's going to be wild. I'm going to have a front row perspective of this. I'm sitting right behind the Jets sideline, and I am excited for this. So that's our assessment of this Jets versus Panthers game, especially the quarterback matchup. I could talk about this for days. I'm really nervous about this, as you guys can tell, but there is a lot of confidence going in. So before we get deeper into the Jets versus Panthers game, let's talk about some more roster moves that the Jets made, especially today. But before I do get into that, guys, make sure you smash that like button. We got so many people in the chat right now, 184 of you guys, and we got 70 of you guys over on Twitter. So shout out to you guys as well. I love the viewership on Twitter. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you guys are tuning in. Let's get to over 100 likes if you guys are enjoying the video. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. So we find out that the New York Jets have activated Sheldrick Redwine, who's the greatest name I've ever heard, and Josh Adams. So Greenbean, what was your thoughts of today's roster moves and your overall roster, thoughts? You can talk about the 53-man roster as well if you want.
Yeah, well, I think, moving the two guys, Redwine and Josh Adams, to the 53 is interesting to me. It shows, even though Saleh's out there talking about everybody being ready for week one, he uses the word hope a lot. I hope this, I hope that. It's an indicator that maybe LaMarcus Joyner and maybe LaMichael Pirine are not going to be ready for week one, and there'll be game day scratches. So that's what it looks like to me, and I'm fine with it. I'd rather have those guys starting, but if this is what they're doing, this is how you use the practice squad. This is how you use the expanded, to 16-person practice squad, allowing the vets on there. It's roster management. So I think what I'm really seeing from our front office and coaching staff is a little bit more intelligent way of balancing things than we're used to. We were always like erratic looking, always kind of looking like a chicken with our head cut off. Right now we're seeing nice, quiet, calm roster moves, and I really like it. I think it's again an indicator that we're moving in the right direction. As far as the guys themselves, I can't tell you that I've followed Redwine at all. I don't know much about him. I've done the same thing everybody else did when we signed him. I looked him up. I watched stuff on him. He looks good. He's a guy who has been in games. He's played in the NFL. So there you go. He brings over some vet presence in a room, the defensive back room, that sorely needs it. As far as our cornerbacks and all that with the safeties, our defensive backs as a whole, guys, we have a lot of question marks. They could literally be the next Legion of Boom, and they could be a room where next year we're back to the drawing board. The good news is we're going to know now. We're going to know who's worth developing, who's a potential star and who needs to get off the team or maybe go to the practice squad, and then we draft somebody to replace them. So I do like the whole thing overall. I like the way that they're balancing the roster. I like that they kept 9 defensive linemen. I like that they kept 7 wide receivers instead of the 6 that a lot of people were predicting. I think I'm in agreement with how they're doing it. Now, the players, would I have done a couple things differently? Maybe. But overall, I really like it. And I'm excited to see these guys. Like I said, we're not exactly making it more difficult for a guy like Sam Darnold than we could. I mean, I would rather see, maybe a vet in there. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what Saleh, Ulbricht, and guys like Odin are going to be able to put together to confuse a guy like Sam Darnold, to bait him into things. I think we're going to use more defensive backs than we think. I think it's going to be 2 linebackers on the field, more than usual. So I think we're going to know, man. We're going to see guys like Javelin Guidry, who makes me nervous as hell. We're going to see Michael Carter II. We're going to see these guys out there. And I just hope that they start to look like they're NFL caliber players sooner than later. But overall, I like it, man. I think we're going to see these changes every week. We're going to see guys bounced up, moved back down. I think we're going to see all that this year. And quite frankly, I think that's the way to do it, and it's smart.
Yeah, we see the Jets first, make their roster moves when it comes to the practice squad. Josh Adams on the practice squad last year, and a lot of Jets fans wanted him to be running back number 4. And it so happens that he is on the active roster. So Josh Adams will be with the Jets on Sunday, and Sheldrick Redwine is a guy that, like you mentioned, Greenbean, it could indicate that LaMarcus Joyner's injury is a little more serious than they expected. So Ali, briefly, what's your thoughts about these 2 active roster moves? And then we're going to get into more about the Jets and Panthers matchup.
Yeah, it's pretty much a roster move. Yeah, it's pretty much probably injury type move. Obviously, Josh Adams is a fan favorite. He scored that last 2-point conversion to tie the game against the Eagles. Whenever he runs with some anger. He runs with on a chip on his shoulder, and you like guys like that, especially. This offense is going to rely on the running game, especially in the first few games, to get Zach Wilson comfortable, like they did in San Francisco. They're going to be running backs out there. And if La'Mical Pirine is not ready to go, they need another back out there. Obviously, Tevin Coleman's going to be out there. What we can see from Ty Johnson, Michael Carter. They always need running backs out there. This is offense loves their running backs, and that's what they're going to do. With Redwine, I do think he's more of a special teams guy, maybe a safety. But especially with Ashton Davis being out most likely for 2 weeks, I think 2-3 more weeks. I think he's just going to be there out there if they need him at safety, or a special teams guy, because he did in his 3rd year. He was a special teams player. So I think the Jets do need guys for special teams. So I think it's pretty much filling up the roster, the 53-man roster, and putting these guys there. And these 2 are probably the best we can get right now that could impact the game in any way. Especially Adams, who can go out there. If they need to run, he will run and get you a couple yards. So I think overall it's pretty, it's not a wow move. It's a whatever move. It's pretty much just like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, we'll see what happens indeed. And you got my boy Nick. What's up, Nick? I did indeed try to trade for Michael Carter. Yes, I assume you're going to decline it, Nick. Michael Carter is the only Jet that I don't have on one of my fantasy teams. So I'm like, all right, how am I getting this guy off? I got Zach, I got Corey Davis, I got Elijah Moore, and I got Ty Johnson. No, they're not all on the same roster, guys. They're spread out. The love is spread out. But I actually want to talk about the Jets running backs now that Nick brought that up, because this is really interesting. Who the hell is going to emerge as a number 1 running back? But the answer to that question is none of them, because there's a running back by committee approach. They're all going to split carries. But there's definitely going to be one guy that's going to be the most productive. And I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts of who you guys think it is. So guys in the chat, when it comes to week number 10 or something, midway through the season, who do you guys think is going to emerge as the best running back on the team? Is it the veteran Tevin Coleman? Is it Ty Johnson? Is it Michael Carter? Is it La'Mical Pirine? Is it Josh Adams? We got 5 guys to think about. So everybody spam in the chat the running back you think is going to emerge as the best, fantasy running back for the Jets, which does, connect to production on the field. So Greenbean, you want to answer that question? Who do you think, give your overall thoughts of the running back room, and one guy you think is going to emerge as the best running back on the team?
Yeah, man, and I'm excited about this running game, and not strictly because the guys that we have, but if you've spent any time digging into this wide zone offense and how it really works, which I've done, I've spent hours and even talking to some Twitter guys that like kind of specialize in this stuff and like picking their brain and everything. It's truly exciting how this running game develops mid-game and how it goes. So I'm really excited. Now, as far as the guy who I think is going to emerge first, I think it's Ty Johnson. I think in my brain, there's really no question. I think as the season goes on, Michael Carter will have the opportunity to kind of get into his little zone there and maybe start to have more of an impact. But I think out of the gate, Ty Johnson is the most ready to like come out running, for no pun intended, but I think Ty Johnson's going to be really exciting, and I like the opportunities that we're going to have to kind of sprinkle different guys in for different scenarios. I am a little bummed that Perine can't play. I'm a little bit more of a supporter than him. I mean, we don't know for a fact, but it looks that way. But I also like Josh Adams. But I think what we're going to see is really largely a 1-2 punch of Michael Carter and Ty Johnson for the most part. And the thing that people aren't talking about is Wesco's impact in there. If you've watched him in the preseason, there was a couple missed blocks, but overall he did a fantastic job crushing people, sealing the edge. And I think that's one of the things coming through that wide zone, just for a little fantasy moment. You look, if AVT and Becton are honestly going to be healthy and play this year, running to the left side, those two guys with Wesco running in front of Ty Johnson in a wide zone stance where everybody's spread out, man, we're talking about 5 to 10 yard chunks all day long. And that's the way that you keep a guy like Christian McCaffrey off the field all day. Like you said earlier, Richie, not so much game manager that we don't want to see exciting football, but game manager that time of possession is in our favor. And I think that's exactly what we're bracing to see. And guys, I couldn't be more excited. I don't care that we don't have a Curtis Martin right now. I want to see all of these running backs 5 to 10 yards a clip with the occasional blown run for 15, 20 yards. That's fine. 5, 10 a clip, and we're going to own this game all day. And I think that's what they're setting up for, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's Greenbean's assessment of the running backs. I absolutely love that. Before I give Ali the mic, I just want to say something about fantasy real quick. Because your guy, Greenbean, is my guy too, Ty Johnson. And the funny thing is, in every single fantasy draft that I've done so far, Tevin Coleman, Michael Carter gets drafted. Ty Johnson is undrafted in pretty much every single league. And I don't know why. I think, and I'm with a big group of my friends, and I drafted Ty Johnson. And they're like, yo, why are you drafting him? Like, who is this guy? Like, they don't even know who he is. I'm like, yo, like, you guys are drafting Michael Carter. You guys are drafting Tevin Coleman. Like, I think they're going to be solid. But Ty Johnson is the guy. I think he's going to emerge as the lead back on this team. Not saying he's going to be getting 25 carries or anything, but I think he's going to be the most productive out of the gate and for the rest of the season. I just see a different mindset within him. I see that power element coming out of him. I see a lot from Ty Johnson, but I don't think he's going to be, the best by a large margin. I think Michael Carter still has a lot of fantasy value as well. But it is interesting that pretty much, majority of Jets fans think Ty Johnson is going to be the guy, the most productive running back, and he's the one not getting drafted. Tevin Coleman and Michael Carter are getting drafted. Very interesting. So, Ali, what's your thoughts of the Jets running backs going into this year?
If I were you, I would not draft any running back from the Jets. That's how I feel, because they're going to be doing the same thing they did in San Francisco. Everyone's going to get some carries. That's going to be the entire game. All these guys are going to get the ball, and that's how they're going to move this offense, is keeping that team on edge, the defense on edge. Because if your running game's going, you don't know when the play action is going to turn into a nice play action pass, Corey Davis or whatever like that. You need the running game to succeed, and that's how they're going to succeed. If Zach Wilson wants to have a good year, they're going to have to get the run game going. For the running back perspective, yes, I love Ty Johnson. I think Michael Carter is going to end up being the starting running back by week 10. I think he's going to get the more carry. I think he's just a young talent, and I think he's a LaFleur type player. I think LaFleur will like his speed, his catching ability, and just overall him being like a small dude. Like, just he knows how to run through cracks through the defense, and his jukes are pretty pretty good. I mean, we didn't see that much in preseason, but he didn't get many carries in preseason. I after all, from what I saw in college, I would say Michael Carter ends up being the starting running back. I think right now it's going to be either Tevin Coleman, but I think Tevin Coleman might actually drop a little bit down the depth chart a little bit. I think they're just going to give the younger guys. I think that trend of having young players on the team is going to continue with this team, with Ty Johnson, Michael Carter getting the carries, and then Tevin Coleman, if they need him out there, they will bring him in. But I think they're going to have that same mindset like they have in the secondary for the Jets, is give these young guys a shot. These young running back, Ty Johnson, obviously has shown a lot to us, which I think is going to have a great year. But Michael Carter and Ty Johnson duo, I think could be deadly, and I think it could be a very underrated, duo, that no one's really thinking about right now, because everyone's thinking about, Tevin Coleman, he's gonna get a lot of carries, but no one's thinking about Ty Johnson anywhere in the league besides Jet fans. No one knows who Ty Johnson is.
Literally.
Besides, no one, everyone I ask, they knows football from left and right, but they do not know who Ty Johnson is, because he's pretty much a nobody. But to us, we've seen him play against actual competition and succeed. So, it was Ty Johnson, Michael Carter are gonna have a great year. I think they're just gonna have to get it going. Like Greenbean said, run left. All you gotta do. I do like how Wesco has fit in. I liked how LaFleur and Wesco have a little bit of chemistry, because they did coach. I think at a senior game or something like that. They were together and they know each other, and I feel like Wesco's finally in a spot where he can finally succeed. And, I think this is a good, that's what I like about this coaching staff. They're trying to figure out places for these guys. They found a great spot for Wesco. But this running back, I feel like this running back crew is going to be pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah, man, this running back group is going to be very fun to watch because it's going to be a committee approach. And Ali, I agree, man. I would stay away from Jets running backs in fantasy. Ty Johnson's the only one that I actually have in one of my teams, because it's really hard to predict of who the one's going to emerge. They're going to be splitting carries. One guy will be, getting 2 touchdowns. The other guy will get 0. And then the next week will be complete opposite. But the running back room is going to be fun to watch. The last topic I want to talk about before we get Greenbean out of here is the X factors for the Jets in week 1. Who are some players that has to be on their A game in order to win the game on Sunday? We're not talking about the season. We're talking about this game. So the Greenbean, give me an offense and defensive X factor. One player from both sides that has to be on their A game in order to pull off a victory against the Carolina Panthers.
Well, look, let's take the quarterback off and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, right, we need Zach Wilson. But I think I think like Corey Davis is going to have a great game and kind of be a part of the management of the game. But I think the X factor might, in fact, be Elijah Moore. I think no one's been able to see him. We're hearing that he's healthy. I think that's the little guy that they're not going to be able to stop, and they're going to have to start trying to figure out ways to stop him. And then once they focus on him, the rest of the team explodes. I think Elijah Moore is the offensive X factor in this game. Defensively, I want to say Bryce Hall, but I'm going to say C.J. Mosley. I think C.J. Mosley is going to be on Christian McCaffrey duty a lot, and I think that this is his welcome back to the NFL. If he can play anywhere near we saw in that first game with us against Buffalo 15 years ago. I think if C.J. Mosley can come back to form, I think that he's going to be the X factor. We go as C.J. Mosley goes on defense, and I think that he's going to be responsible for kind of cooling Christian McCaffrey down a little bit, and I think that he's going to be able to do that because if he can, we're going to have a good day.
And we need him to be healthy after the game as well.
That's right.
I think that's the number one thing with CJ. Get through 4 quarters, CJ, healthy, and I'll be excited for your future. Ali, before I get into my X factors, who are your X factors for offense and defense? Greenbean gave us Elijah Moore, a guy that I love that you picked because he's going to be so important to this Jets offense. And I just want to talk about Elijah Moore very quickly, briefly, because preseason, we didn't see him. Nobody in the NFL saw him. We're getting all these hyped up rookie receivers doing this, doing that. And like Jets fans know what we got. We're like, this Elijah Moore. There's a lot of hype. I'm not saying Elijah Moore is not getting a lot of hype because he is outside of like Jets fans. Like the NFL media are expecting big things from Elijah Moore. But I kind of like that he didn't really do anything in preseason. So nobody's really expecting anything out of the gate. But Jets fans, we have high hopes for Elijah. I feel like he's going to be utilized all over the field, slot, outside, running back, end arounds, handoffs, down the middle, down. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see Elijah Moore line up. I'm repping him right now. If you guys didn't know, that's my guy. Let's go. And CJ, just stay healthy, man. He is the X factor for the entire season because he is the leader of this team. So, Ali, give me your X factor on offense and defense in order for us to win week 1.
So for defense, I would say Quinnen Williams. He has.
Wait, who did you say?
Quinnen Williams.
Ah,
that guy.
That guy.
This handsome man.
I love when he talks. I love it. But yeah, I mean, Quinnen Williams has to go off. He's going against a backup offensive lineman, and if he wants a great first game back, this is where he needs to do it. And be all over. I think the Jets is going to go in the crunch. You have to win the defensive battle. We have to go, and the defensive line needs to win against the offensive line of the Panthers, who is struggling big time right now. And Quinnen Williams has a chance to pretty much get to him every play. I think that's pretty much what you have to say right now. And I think Quinnen Williams might change the game completely. He's going to help the secondary. If he gets to the quarterback, we all know Sam Darnold panics when he's back there. Get to the quarterback, he'll be throwing, I don't know when. Maybe C.J. Mosley picks it off. Maybe Bryce Hall picks it off. Maybe one of these other rookies, Nasser Dean, picks it up. Who knows? Anyone can do it. So I think Quinnen Williams is the X factor right now for the defense because he could have a monster game to start the season if he really wanted to. For the offensive side, everyone's talking about Elijah Moore, running backs. I would say Mekhi Becton.
You are, Ali, just stealing both of my guys like that. Like, I had him lined up, ready to go. These are my 2 X factors, and Ali just goes into my brain and steals them.
It has to be Mekhi Becton, bro. That's how you win the ball game. The Panthers' defense is not terrible. It's actually really good. And you got to keep a note on that. And Mekhi Becton needs to keep that pocket a little bit clean for Zach Wilson. We cannot have an injury right off the bat week 1 with Zach Wilson. We just can't have that. And I think with Elijah Vera Tucker coming back, those two are going to have to man and keep his blind spot occupied and not let him get hurt. That's the big thing for him. But yeah, I feel like Mekhi Becton, we're all excited to see him again this year aligned with Elijah Vera Tucker. And we just want to see this line dominate, and keep Zach Wilson healthy, keep Zach Wilson in the pocket, let him find his read, find a throw, so I think I would give it to Mekhi Becton as an X factor for the offense.
Yeah, man. So my X factors was indeed Quinnen and Mekhi, so I'm going to flip mine up. On the defensive side of ball, I was going to go with Quinnen's buddy right next to him, Sheldon Rankins, because he's a very underrated player for this Jets team that a lot of Jets fans will grow to love because he's a pass rushing animal. But I'm going to go to the cornerback room and pick my guy Bryce Hall because I just watched him talk to the media today, and he is stepping into an opportunity to prove to be a starting cornerback in the NFL. Remember, guys, this is a player last year who was supposed to be a second, third round pick, and he fell to the 5th round because of his injury he sustained in college, and he was out for the entire first half of the season last year. Comes in week 7, week 8. He plays pretty well as a rookie, gets a one-handed interception on Jared Goff, and now he finally has a full training camp to develop, and now he's being thrown into the fire. He's our CB1. So he's an X factor for this game because if he somehow can channel his, inner, untapped potential that we haven't seen from him yet and become a lockdown corner, this Jets defense becomes that much better for the future. If he can develop into a true guy that we can say with confidence, Bryce Hall is a starting cornerback for this Jets team. Maybe he's not the future CB1. Maybe he established himself as a starting corner, and then next year we need to bring in a CB1 in the draft, like in the whatever we're drafting, and then we compare him up. But if Bryce Hall can lock down Robbie, or if he locks down DJ Moore, if he can really, give the Jets defensive line time to get to Sam, that's going to be huge because as we know, the cornerback rooms are so up in the air. I feel like a lot of Jets fans have a lot of optimism with Bryce Hall, but outside of him, it's all question marks. It's all rookies, all second-year players, and Bryce Hall's second-year player as well, which is nuts. But Bryce Hall is a guy that I am going to give him the X Factor bid because he is playing such an important role on this defense. Saleh always says you need to be able to have a corner to win their one-on-one battles late in the game in order to get that victory. And Bryce Hall has every single opportunity to do exactly that. It's very rare for a guy of Bryce Hall's stature to be a fifth-round pick, to be thrown in as a CB number 1. So he needs to take full advantage of this opportunity. I'm expecting him to do that. Now, my X factor on offense is not really a sexy pick. I don't think a lot of you guys will predict this, but it is indeed in the trenches, and his name is Connor McGovern. I think Connor McGovern is going to play such a big role on this team this year, especially week 1, because, first of all, Connor McGovern, when we signed him last year, we have to remember what type of season he was coming off of in Denver. He had 0 penalties. He was a solid pass blocking center. And we also have to remember what happened last year with this Jets team. Joe Douglas completely revamped this O-line, brought in 5 new starters, and you cannot expect that offensive line to gel right away, especially with the injuries they suffered throughout the season. And Connor McGovern spoke to the media a week ago. He said that this scheme was built for me. They created this scheme for myself. Like, this is what I was meant to be in. So if Connor McGovern can, tap into that Denver Broncos way, and remember, Connor McGovern, he struggled early last year, but at the end of the year, he really held his ground. And as important as Mekhi Becton in the left side of the offensive line is with AVT, the center position is one of the most important spots of the O-line simply because of the communication factor, lining everybody up, calling out the coverages, having that connection with Zach Wilson. He is so important to, give that interior offensive line security. If Zach Wilson doesn't have to worry about interior pressure down his throat, he's going to be able to stay in the pocket and find his read. So Connor McGovern is my X factor because the interior offensive line is so important for this Jets team to have success on the offensive side of the ball. And I feel like you can pick anybody. Mekhi Becton is a big one. AVT is a big one. Elijah Moore, of course, and not even talk about Zach Wilson. But my 2 X factors, Bryce Hall and Connor McGovern. Those 2 guys need to have big games in order to, win the game on Sunday. So we're going to let Greenbean skedaddle, and then we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A with Ali and myself to finish off the stream. Guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We're not going anywhere. Smash that like button, and please, please, please make sure you go down below in the description and click that link and subscribe to my guy Greenbean. He's doing great things over on his YouTube channel. His podcast is doing well. Make sure you guys subscribe to Greenbean if you're not already. It would mean a lot to him and myself because I love Greenbean. So Greenbean, anything you would like to say before we let you go?
Yeah, well, I love you too. It's really great to be here, man. I just think the world of both of you guys. I love the chat. Everybody's in there. We got some trolls. They're handling it fine. But yeah, episode 36 of the Jets pod is up now on my YouTube page, Greenbean Jets fan. And I'm just psyched, man. I can't wait to get into this. This is going to be a good week. We're not going to shut up for the whole week. So I'll see you guys around, I'm sure. And thanks again for having me on, man.
I love it. All right, Greenbean, take care. Have a good one.
See you guys.
All right. So it is Ali and myself. We're going to get into some topics. Anything you guys want us to talk about in the chat, let us know. There's so much stuff to talk about where it's kind of disgusting. Like, I don't even know where to begin. That's a little too close, right?
That's way too close.
Yeah, we're better right there. We're too ugly for the screens. We're going to have these 2 men join us for a couple seconds because why not talk about them? And see you later, Greenbean. Love you, bro. We'll see you. Mekhi Becton and Quinnen Williams. This is Ali's X factor for the game, and they're X factors for the entire season. If Mekhi Becton can really have a bounce, first of all, rookie season, Mekhi Becton absolutely exceeded every single expectation. I myself included, going into last year was like, guys, Mekhi's a rookie. We have to ground our expectations. He's not going to just be dominating every single snap. He's going to get beat, but I was wrong. Every single time he went up against a top-tier edge rusher, he would shut them down. The only issue with Mekhi last year was having those little naggy injuries to keep him off the field. I think as long as Mekhi is on the field, he's going to have a good season. And, of course, there was, rumors out of training camp that he was struggling. Zach was getting sacked in the joint practices. But in preseason, he looked pretty darn good. And Quinnen Williams is another guy that is such an important role to this team, where if we can have a dominant Quinnen Williams, get that interior pressure up the middle consistently, including stopping the run, this team is going to be on another level defensively, because if you cannot get to the quarterback, the defense will fail. That's what the formula is. That's basically what it all is. So with that being said, I'm going to open this up to Jets Q&A. We already heard what Ali had to say about these two men because they are very important to the Jets' success this season. So any of you guys want to talk about anything, please feel free to give us a question, and we will give you guys an answer in the chat. We can talk about Shaq Lawson joining the squad. We could talk about the expectations for the Jets defense. We could talk about so much. Mike LaFleur. Whatever you guys want us to talk about, Ali and I are here. So, we got a betting question. I don't think you want us to answer this one, Graham. I have thousands of dollars to blow, wondering if I should bet the Jets +5. Graham, I love that you have thousands of dollars to blow, but listen, I'm not into sports betting simply because I know that I'm going to bet on my teams and lose a lot of money. I'm not going to be the one to tell you to do that because if I say yes and they lose, you're going to come after me with a pitchfork. Ali, what do you got to say to Graham?
Oh man, should I bet Jets +5?
I mean, he's at thousands of dollars.
I would do it. I could see them winning 6 games.
Okay. Oh no, I think he's talking about the Jets beating the Panthers.
Oh, just the Panthers?
Yeah, just beating the Panthers week 1 +5. So we'll see.
Yes.
All right, you heard it from Ali. Let's see it, Graham. Let's see it. How well does Christian McCaffrey perform against us? Christian McCaffrey's going to play very well against us.
He's Christian McCaffrey.
He's Christian McCaffrey. He went first overall for a reason in everyone's draft, fantasy drafts. So I'm expecting Christian McCaffrey to play well. I think he is the guy that we need to focus on the most in terms of defensively game planning. Because if we can shut down Christian McCaffrey and force Sam to beat us with his arm, I like our chances. What's your thoughts of CMC?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to win the battle on the line, man. That's how we're going to win that game. That offensive line still sucks for the Panthers. We're just going to have to figure out the passing, the quick passes they're probably going to do to get Sam Darnold, give McCaffrey the ball. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to have like 100 yards, more than 100 yards, maybe a touchdown or two. But if we get more of a game where he goes 160, like 3 touchdowns, then we lose that game. But they just have to contain him. You know, there's a certain amount that we have to do. I feel like he will get a touchdown. He'll get in the end zone. He'll have a lot of yards. But you just got to contain him from not completely taking over the game, and you'll be fine.
True that. If the front 4 are not getting to Darnold, who will be sent to create pressure? So, you know, that's a problem if the front 4 cannot get to Sam because that means we're going to have to start blitzing more people, and that means less people in coverage. I think it's going to be, you know, I would say Jared Davis if he was going to, you know, be healthy because he's a very good pass rushing linebacker. You never know. It could be nickel blitzes. It could be they could put a 5 defensive lineman out there. I can see CJ going out there for blitzes. I can see Marcus May being a guy lining up in the box and going after guys. They got to be creative, guys. They really do. If the front 4 is not getting there, they're definitely going to have to send more guys because if you cannot get to Sam and you give Sam time, I don't really like that. You need to be able to get to Sam Darnold because we know what happens when he gets, you know, under pressure. But let's see. Am I wrong to feel nervous about Sherwood and Najeldine as our starting linebackers? Absolutely not. They're both rookies, 5th, 6th round picks. So Ali, what's your thoughts about Sherwood and Najeldine being our starting linebackers?
I'm fine with it. I mean, I think we'll be fine with them. I think Najeldine has shown, if you just look at his college tape, man, he's eye-opening. I think he's a really talented linebacker. I think he's shown that because he's a starting linebacker for the Jets as a rookie. And I'm really excited to see him. I'm actually excited to see these guys out there because it's just so young, man. They're just young. They're fast. They're ready to go. That's what is so entertaining to watch, especially in the preseason. You saw these guys, like even like the backups of the backups are just flying around everywhere. And I haven't seen that in a long time for a Jets defense. They're just flying. Every single person is flying around and getting to the ball carrier. doing their part to be an impact in the game. And yeah, I mean, seeing it in real time now with these guys out there, it's exciting to watch. And I think Sherwood and Nazardine are going to have a real big impact the entire season for the Jets defense, because obviously they're lagging in the secondary, like we mentioned a million times. But yeah, I think these guys are they're very eye popping. They're very fun to watch. They're underrated guys that we're just going to keep an eye on throughout the season and see if they improve throughout each and every week. A lot of people are just going to be looking at Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, these guys, but not looking at Nazaruddin and seeing how they have progressed in their own game. People are just going to be looking at the top guys, the top positions, but not looking at the more low key type positions that have an impact in the game. So I think I'm really excited to see Nazaruddin out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. We're very young. I like that we have CJ in the middle of these two guys. That gives me a little more optimism about them. That's something I will say. Who do you guys think will be starting at right tackle? That's a good question, because Saleh got asked that today, and he said, "I am not going to tell you. I'm going to let you guys find out on Sunday," which is a pretty interesting, technique. He doesn't want Matt Rule, I guess, to know. I really hope he knows who. If I had to guess, it would be Morgan Moses, but then again, I wouldn't be shocked if it's George Fant. I feel like it would be Morgan Moses for this reason alone, that George Fant is our swing tackle. He's our left tackle, backup left tackle, as well as our backup right tackle. And I feel like we need to preserve George Fant for that reason. So just in case Mekhi goes down, we have Fant ready to go to plug in. Instead of, say George Fant's at right tackle and then Mekhi goes down, and then in the middle of the game, Fant has to move to the left and then Moses comes in at right tackle. Who do you think is going to win that battle, Ali, at right tackle?
I think Moses is going to win that. I think he's just a veteran presence. I think he'll be out there. I think is solid, but it's a good issue to have that you have two possible starters at right tackle. That's a good problem.
A really good
that's a good problem to have, that you have that. But I think it's going to definitely be Moses. I think he's just more experienced. And especially in week one, you need to at least put your best guys out there for your quarterback. It's no preseason anymore. You're not trying to figure out the position. You're going to put your best guy out there. Both of them are pretty decent, but I think Moses might win it a little bit because it was a late addition, and I think he just kind of won the battle in training camp. From what I saw, obviously we'll see what Salah does, but we'll see. I will see. I really do like the two guys, but it's a good thing now. I wouldn't mind any of these two being out there.
Me neither, man. It's gonna be interesting, and it's such a good problem to have. We have
it's a great
two
problem.
right tackles. Are you kidding me? When have we ever been able to say that? We usually like, oh my god, we have this guy. But that's a great thing. Are there any
There's
clear
a lot
mismatches?
of trolls in this. There's a lot of trolls in here.
Yeah, shout out to the trolls. We love you guys. Any clear mismatches you see the Jets have? I think it's the defensive line against their O-line. Would you agree, Ali?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the Jets D line, especially with the Panthers, right guard going down, and their offensive line is already thin as it is. That's definitely the weakest part of their offense. So we have the clear advantage. Interior defensive line needs to wreck their interior offensive line. And if we can really take advantage of that, we have a good shot of winning this game.
Look, Salah is an expert on the defensive line. That's how he was succeed in San Francisco. That defense succeeded because of the defensive line getting to the quarterback. Now that's their strength. That's their best thing. Even when we lost players, that's still our strength. And the Panthers' all-line is struggling big time. And Salah's going to put something out. I'm actually excited to see what he comes up with, especially with the secondary, and what he does to kind of see something different for Sam Darnold in the backfield. And I feel like they're going to do stuff that we've never seen before. And Salah just has that mind set on that defense that he'll just switch it up a little bit. And I'm so excited to see that, actually, because, we haven't really seen a guy on the defense since Rex Ryan to do that. I mean, Todd Bowles, obviously, but we really didn't see that from Todd Bowles either, where he kind of disguised it. But I think Robert Saleh has a lot of disguise in him, and I think he did that in San Francisco a lot. So I think they're just going to pound that offensive line. And if they're going to win this game, that's a big part of why they won that game.
Exactly. That's Unfortunately, we know the reality of Carl Lawson going down. And before he went down, I was very confident with this Jets team actually being able to win some games they're not supposed to because of how good this defensive line could be. So now that Lawson's down, we have another Lawson to fill in his shoes. We're not expecting him to do what Carl was going to do, but this Jets D line is going to, win us some games this year. We got the first donation of the stream from Jexican44. Thank you so much for the $5 donation, man. I really do appreciate you. It means a lot. It supports the channel a ton. Thank you so much, man. Anything else? Let's see.
You mean Jack should do game picks.
Game picks?
And do it every week and see who wins it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun. I'm down. I'm definitely down. Any other questions, guys? Make sure you send it our way. Anything you guys want us to talk about? Jets Q&A is now open. I see you guys talking in the chat, talking some smack. I see you guys. All right, Jets Q&A is now up and loaded. Hope you guys are enjoying this is the last Monday without football. Yesterday was the last Sunday without football till February. Hopefully the vibes are immaculate right now because I cannot freaking wait for this to actually be a thing. Thoughts on, the P. Ryan one, Logan, I'll get to yours after. Who will be a Pro Bowler on the Jets? Will we have one? All right, Ali, I'm going to let you take this one.
A Pro Bowler, I would say either Mekhi Becton.
That would be sick.
Or Quinnen Williams if he has that monster year that we're all expecting him to have. If Quinnen Williams his ceiling is through the roof, honestly, Quinnen. So I think if Quinnen Williams just shows off every game, just making tackles, sacks here and there, just being healthy, I think he has a really good chance of being a Pro Bowler. I don't know if we can't really say these rookies are going to do it. And I can't say Zach Wilson, obviously, but I think Mekhi Becton and Quinnen Williams probably are the safest bet. Maybe CJ Mosley if he is back to his normal self, and more is a better CJ Mosley. We don't know what we have in CJ Mosley right now, because we haven't seen him for a full game yet. But if those three are probably the best case as of now for Pro Bowl.
And I like this pick, actually. Someone in the chat. Braden Mann.
Oh, yeah.
It's possible.
It's possible.
It's very possible. If he's a Pro Bowl punter, that would be sick. I think Quinn and Mekhi are very safe picks. I think CJ Mosley has a chance as well, but he obviously needs to play in order for before that happens. I saw a question over here. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. Okay. Thoughts on the Michael Pirine this season? For those of you guys who have been following me, I've been a Pirine fan or Pirine. What do I call it? Defender or supporter, just because there's so many Jets fans that just hate him for some reason. Just kidding. They don't hate him. They just don't think that he should have made the roster over Josh Adams. But I don't know. I see a lot of potential in La'Mical Pirine, and we have to really realize what Pirine's working with. He's coming off a rookie season with Adam Gase, with that terrible roster, and Frank Gore getting reps before him. Last year is a perfect example of the opposite of what we're doing. We were giving the ball to a 38-year-old over our rookie running back to develop. Now we're going to give the young guys every opportunity to shine. La'Mical Pirine brings a different element to this running back room, which is that power element. And I feel like La'Mical Pirine, when he did get an opportunity, he did show a lot of potential. He showed the patience in the backfield you need. He showed the ability to find the hole. He showed the ability to throw, put his shoulder down and get the extra yard. I feel like Pirine will shock a lot of Jets fans this year if he gets the opportunity, because I do think there's a lot of potential in there. He was a 4th-round pick last year, just like Michael Carter's a 4th-round pick this year. I'm not saying Pirine's going to be better than Michael Carter. I think Carter's going to be the better running back, but don't be shocked if Pirine is out there on a 3rd and goal opportunity, punching in at the goal line. I feel like Pirine's going to have, a role on this Jets team. We have 5 active running backs right now. I think that's because Pirine is battling an injury, unfortunately. So hopefully he does get healthy, because that's been, Pirine and Denzel Mims' problem so far is the injury concern. So, Ali, what's your thoughts of La'Mical Pirine going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting much from all these running backs, honestly, just because of the running back committee that they have, and they're just going to give everyone the ball, pretty much. I don't think anyone's going to really have a breakout. Maybe if one of these guys starts grinding it out in like week 8, 9. But right now, for LaMichael Pirine, I mean, he's a different back from all the backs, and I think that's what makes him special. He's a different style back than Ty Johnson, Michael Carter. So maybe that's how his game sticks out a little bit. But I definitely need to see more out of him. Before I can say LaMichael Pirine is a guy. He definitely deserved a roster spot. I'm not saying I wasn't one of them that he could get. I said he could possibly get cut just because of them wanting speed and all that stuff and being different. But also, I thought of he's a different back from all these guys, and it might be worth a while to keep a guy that's different from the other backs to change it up a little bit. But we just got to see a little bit more out of him. Obviously, he was with Gates and really didn't use him as much at all last year. So we'll see how LaFleur, if he can incorporate his game into the game plan for each and every week.
Yeah, and that's what I would just tell Jets fans. Anything that you saw last year with these players, like, don't make that your thought of that player. Like, that was a nightmare. And I would not put, not saying Pirine's guaranteed to be a great player, but Pirine was in such a terrible situation last year. So this is a good opportunity for him in year number 2 to have a new system to see what he can do. So have an open mind with him. If he plays like crap, then yeah, maybe he was not the guy that we should have drafted. But I don't know. A number 4 running back, you can't really expect that much out of him. We got another donation from the same guy, Jexican44. Appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate the generous donations from you, man. How will the Jets defensive backs be suited up for this upcoming week 1 against the Carolina Panthers? So, yeah, the defensive backs, we don't even know who's going to be CB number 2. It could be Brandon Eccles. It could be Pinnock. It could be Isaiah Dunn. I don't know. I think Javelin Guidry and Michael Carter II are both going to, come in and out for the game at the slot. The defensive backs are not going – we definitely have the disadvantage there. Just like we have the advantage on the defensive line against the Carolina Panthers offensive line. The Panthers' advantage is their receivers against our corners. They have really talented receivers. We know Robbie Anderson. DJ Moore is a very good receiver, and they also have a rookie, Terrence Marshall, who looks very good. So they have 3 wide receivers who are good playmakers, and not to mention Christian McCaffrey as well. So the defensive backs in the secondary are going to have a long day. So, Ali, what's your thoughts of the defensive backs going up against the Carolina Panthers wide receivers?
They're going to struggle. They're definitely going to struggle. You're going to see some guys get burned. You're going to see some guys make mistakes, and that's what you should expect. You shouldn't get mad about that because it's expected. That's how a young team is going to grow. They're going to have to learn from their mistakes. They're going to have to learn that this is the NFL now. You're going to be going against top receivers who have been doing this for years now and who are on the top of their game, and you just got to get better and better, learn new techniques. But I do think as Robert Saleh as your head coach, he will scheme it in ways where these guys could possibly succeed. These guys are not going to be as bad as we think they are going to be. I think they're going to throw a lot of different schemes, throw a lot of stuff at Darnold that he's never seen before. The coverages are going to be different. And I do think that, yes, I do think Darnold's not going to have a pretty decent game against these corners, but I think people are underestimating that these guys are young and they're unpredictable. I think that's the clear word about these DBs, that they're unpredictable. They could come out and be pretty productive to start week 1. So we just don't know what we've seen from them. So I would give them the benefit of doubt that we'll see how it goes. I'll give them a free pass in week 1. But I think Saleh knows that. I think this coaching staff knows that they're so young and they're going to scheme it as much as possible. So like other people, a lot of people are stressed about the cornerback position. I am too, but I'm more of kind of want to see how it goes. It's a different approach than we've had before. We're kind of expecting it. We are literally giving the keys to these young cornerbacks, first year and second year guys out in cornerback and just let them play ball. So I'm actually excited to see how they progress and get better throughout the game. Maybe they get just blown out in the first quarter and they bounce back in the second half. So we don't know. We just got to wait and watch, but I'm actually excited about the defensive backs.
Yeah, very well said, man. Very well said. Will Elijah Moore live up to the hype? Now, this is a really good question because there is a lot of hype around him, which is why I'm wearing number 8. It's funny because it's not the hype around him is real because it's not like there's preseason hype. Zach Wilson has preseason hype. He played well in preseason. Elijah Moore did not do anything in preseason, and that's not why people are hyping him up. Like, it would be different if Elijah Moore played in preseason with Zach in those first 2 games and he was looking like what we expect and the hype would be through the roof. There's hype around him like everywhere. You know, I saw something from PFF. They're predicting him to be the new Justin Jefferson. You know, Justin Jefferson was a rookie receiver last year that just popped off. Now, the expectations are through the roof, right? I think he will live up to it. And the reason is his mentality. Robert Saleh said over and over again that he's an old soul. Feels like that he's been in the league for 6 years. And if you just watch him speak football, if you listen to him talk, like he has a different mindset for, you know, someone that age. You hear AJ Brown hyping him up. You hear Odell Beckham Jr. talk about that. I wouldn't be shocked if he's an all-pro as a rookie. I just feel like his route running is so insane as a rookie. His ability to sell his hips going one way and then plant his feet in the ground and burst the opposite way, breaking the ankles of the defensive back is next level. He's going to be utilized all over the field. He's going to be getting, you know, handoffs. He's going to be lining up as a running back in the slot, the outside. Elijah Moore, I'm buying the hype. Ali, are you buying the hype?
Of course, I'm buying the hype, man. He's a stud. He is a stud, and I was still like, how do you make it to the second round? You know, I'm just mind boggled that he made it to the second round. The Jets grabbed him somehow. But yeah, I think he's just he'll improve every aspect of his game. I think we all know he can catch the ball. We all know he has speed. We all know he could be a star. You know, we all know that, but he's gonna have to get better and better. We haven't seen him. You know, it's something that we just have to keep an eye on. But I do think he has every potential of being a star in this league. It's just his worth ethic, the way he plays the game, the way he approaches every game, the way he has a chip on his shoulder. That's a recipe of success in the league. And I think he has all it takes. You just need to get him the ball, run a good offense, and the Jets finally possibly could have that. So I think Elijah Moore and the Zach Wilson connection could go on for years for us, hopefully. Something like we saw with Tom Brady, Wes Welker, or Tom Brady with Julian Edelman, something like that we need to build off of like that. We need a connection that's consistent for years to come. So, you know, I really do think Elijah Moore could live up to a hype, and I hope he does. I really do.
Yeah, I feel like we've never had a rookie like, you know, have this much optimism. Like last year with Denzel, it was way different. We were very excited. We got Denzel in the second round. We thought he was a first-round talent. But then he just got hurt and he didn't play in training camp. So there was no hype around Denzel going into this year. Last year. And unfortunately, the same thing happened with Denzel this year. He had a phenomenal week 1 of preseason, looking really good. And then he gets a hip injury and he's out for the rest of preseason and training camp. He'll be ready for week 1, which is a good sign. And I'm hopeful that Denzel can really, you know, prove to be a talented wide receiver for the Jets this year. And I want to ask you guys a question. Who is going to catch the first touchdown from Zach Wilson? I tweeted out about this earlier today, and I'm curious. Who is going to catch the first touchdown from Zach Wilson? Will it be Corey Davis? Will it be Tyler Kroft? Will it be Keelan Cole? Will it be Elijah Moore? Will it be Michael Carter? Tevin Coleman? There's so many options. Daniel Brown? I mean, who knows? What's your gut tell you, Willie? You seeing into the future, Sunday, 1:30, Zach Wilson throws a touchdown to who?
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
It's going to be a Corey Davis game. I think Corey Davis is just that connection has developed throughout preseason, and we've all seen that connection develop. And I think he's definitely going to be looking at Corey Davis. They're definitely going to be double teaming them, but he's going to force it in there. And Corey Davis is going to find a way to get open. Corey Davis is going to catch that touchdown. It's going to be a 40-yard touchdown. 40-yard touchdown.
Elijah Moore thinks he's going to get the ball in the end zone.
To me.
Sign me up. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Tyler Kroft, just because that was the only 2 touchdowns Zach had in preseason. So why not go back to him again? I feel like the tight end position is pretty interesting so far for the Jets. If Tyler Kroft can really be a reliable, healthy option, and Tyler Kroft is a guy that was a very pretty reliable pass-catching tight end for the Bills and the Bengals, but his problem was staying on the field. So hopefully he can stay healthy because we need him to be, you know, that tight end, that security blanket for Zach. So it seems like everybody is saying Corey Davis, Croft, Keelan Cole, Cole. No one thinks Elijah Moore. Maybe a screen to Coleman. Oh, here we go. Moore. And then we got some people fighting in the chat still. Oh, I love it. You got to love live chats. Everyone debating like, oh, no, my team's better. No, my team's better. No. My team's going to win. No, yeah. It's all natural. I love it. Keep it up in the chat, guys. Shout out to everybody. We've been live for an hour and a half, and we're just chilling, man. We got nothing else to do. We're trying to go live every single Monday around this time, so stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed to Jets Media, help me to get to 8K. That would be awesome. Very close to 8K subscribers. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to Ali down below in the description as well at Loyal NY Jet Fans. You guys know what Ali's doing over there. And, of course, his Instagram popping off as usual. Now, if you guys want to ask us any other questions before we end off the stream, feel free to do so. I'm running out of topics to talk about, even though there's so many things we can talk about. So many things. Is anything on your mind, Ali, that you want to get off your chest with this Jets team? Or because we did talk about a lot. How about this guy? We never talked about him yet.
I mean, what else? What could you expect? He's not Carl Lawson, bro. He's not Carl Lawson. He's just guy. He's a guy that's just filling in. He's a guy that's filling in who does half the job that Carl Lawson might do for us. So, I mean, he's a guy that we might expect maybe 5 sacks, possibly. It's a signing that he's a player that has been through a couple teams now, and we just got to see if he does anything for us. And I think they're just trying to just see what options they have. It was bold of Joe Douglas to go out and get a move, and it's a low risk, high reward type move. We got him for a 6th round pick. So I mean, it's whatever. We'll see how he does, but there's not much expectations right there.
Word. I just saw something that the Ravens are working out Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I saw that at the beginning of the stream. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, because apparently another running back of theirs is out for the year. So they're trying to scramble. That sucks for them, man. Jeez.
Well, they got Lamar Jackson, so that's fine.
Yeah. Shaq Lawson, my thoughts of him is, I feel like we needed to go out there and, replace Carl Lawson. Honestly, let me say that again. We didn't replace Carl Lawson with Shaq Lawson. We replaced Shaq Lawson with Vinny Curry. Vinny Curry is another big guy that we lost. And that if we didn't lose Vinny Curry for the season, just like we lost Carl Lawson, then I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets didn't make a move because we're so deep at this position. But it was a much-needed move. Douglas turned a 6th-round pick that he got from Jordan Willis into Shaq. And this is a guy that says he feels very comfortable in the system. I know that Dolphins fans and Bills fans know him very well. He brings different energy and different swagger to the defensive line group. So why not? Why not Shaq? Did you guys hear about Tim Ward, the edge rusher? PFF had something on him, or was it Nadia? I didn't see anything about Tim Ward on Twitter, but I do know that he has a lot of upside. We claimed him in the waivers, him and Quincy Williams, Williams' brother. So we'll see what that duo can do. That's going to be fun. All right, so it seems like nobody wants to ask questions. They just want to fight in the chat. Is that what's happening? Who gets the first sack amongst our defensive line? I think it's going to be Bryce Huff. Bold take. Bryce Huff. He got the first sack of the Jets preseason against the Giants. He's going to do the same. Who do you think?
It's going to be Quinnen Williams, man. It's going to be the first drive for the Panthers, and Sam Darnold's going to go down the drain, bro.
And he's going to be like, bah. It's
Quinnen Williams. It's going to be Quinnen Williams.
This guy, look at that face. With the braces, too. Brace face. I got you, Quinnen. I don't care that you got your braces off. All right, guys. We're going to conclude the stream here. We're going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to Elise. Subscribe to myself. It means a lot to both of us. Expect a lot of Jets content on the channel. I'll be live again sometime this week. I'll also be doing the AFC East Roundtable on Wednesday night on Dan Mitchell's channel, the Buffalo Bills YouTuber. So stay tuned for a lot of content here on this channel. We appreciate all you guys staying till the end. And yeah, guys, we appreciate it. Ali, anything you'd like to say before we finish off the video?
Yeah, for sure. And guys, enjoy the game on Sunday. I will be going a live stream on my channel. It's going to be a pregame show and a postgame show. This is the first year I'm actually doing it, so it might be a complete mess of a show. But definitely tune in. It's going to be posted. I don't know the timings yet that I'm going to be doing, but that's going to be posted on my social media platforms, and it's going to be on my channel, which I believe is linked below. On official Loyal NYJF fans on YouTube. But we will be going live in the morning, and then after literally a couple minutes after the game's over. So definitely tune in and come by, and I'll see you guys. If you can't tune into that, I'll see you guys Monday.
Facts, guys. Make sure you guys check out Ali's live stream on Sunday. I'm going to try to go live as well sometime Sunday, but I don't know if I'll be able to pull that off because I'll be in Charlotte, and I'm going to give you guys as much content as I can over there. I'm thinking of doing a vlog. So stay tuned for more content here, guys. And remember, check out BetQL. All the links down below in the description for all you sports bettors out there. That is the website you guys need to check out, or their app, because they do everything you need when it comes to looking at the spreads, knowing where to put your money. It gives you a great analytical approach. So make sure you guys check out BetQL down below in the description. And I'll catch you guys in the next stream.